leading to difficulty of breathing. So this is controlled by the autonomic nervous system, particularly the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Try to recall there are uh, neurotransmitters in the form of acetylcholine and epinephrine. So they stimulate the muscles. They stimulate the muscles that may either result in bronchoconstriction or bronchodilation. So again, so if it's parasympathetic, so that is constriction. So just to remember, so parasympathetic is constriction and sympathetic is dilation. So SDN PC. PC SD. So that those are the letters, the letter combination that you can remember, try to recall so that you will easily remember what happens when the sympathetic nervous system is. So anyway, so isa pa pala, one other thing about the sympathetic is that it's more of aggressive, right? It's aggressive, so it's dilation. And constriction is more of uh rather baliktad to. So in the case of the lungs, it's the opposite. Okay, sympathetic normally is again aggressive, but in this case it's dilation, so it's more of relaxation. And that's also the same for the parasympathetic. Instead of relaxation, there is constriction. Right. So, what are the conditions that we may experience affecting the upper respiratory tract? So, one of the most common is, cold. The common cold, rhinitis, acute rhinitis, sinusitis. So, most of them are inflammatory conditions. Okay. So, resulting from infections. Okay. So, these infectious agents may range from the common cold is usually viral in nature. So the most common is virus. But, some bacteria may also cause upper respiratory tract infection. Okay. So these are usually acute conditions. So again, when it's acute, so it suddenly happens. And so usually, since this is the respiratory system, so naturally this is caused by uh, respiratory transmission, okay, or transmission from other, maybe usually as other people, okay. So the first condition is the common cold or common colds. So this is, as they say, this is one of the most expensive uh, in terms of expenditures. In terms of expenditure. So this may be in the United States. So they are spending about more than $500 million, okay, for over-the-counter preparations to address the common colds. I do not know here in the Philippines. What do you do? What type of um drug do you take as an over-the-counter preparation? Okay, when you have colds. I remember outside the Philippines, I used to take, there is this drug. Uh, I think it's ano yan, parang made of steroid. So it's more like a steroidal preparation. So for the common colds. So another thing, so syempre pag common cold, so this is usually because of coronaviruses. So coronaviruses. And then for acute rhinitis, so this is um, usually because of yan, so allergy. So because of allergy. So aside from sa coronaviruses, we have the rhinoviruses. Rhinoviruses. So maraming klase kasi ng viruses na nagko-cause ng common colds. Okay? That is why there is no available vaccine for this kind of infection. So there are so many different types of viruses. And if you wala pa pala kayong virology, but if you um you will realize in virology that viruses are capable of mutation. So they always mutate. So they undergo change so that they may survive. So for purpose of survival. So they affect the nasopharyngeal tract. So and then for acute rhinitis, so this is an inflammatory condition, usually because of allergic rhinitis in case allergic rhinitis. So in that case, ang pinaka main symptom of this condition is sneezing. Okay, so you are sneezing and you will notice that the nose is already red in color. So because of inflammation. Yeah, so what is the incubation period? So by incubation period, we mean this is the time it takes before you will see the symptoms of the infection. So it takes about 1 to 4 days before you can see the symptoms of infection. So by symptoms of infection, so we mean that there are secretions. There are secretions that are produced in the respiratory passageway. So home remedies, of course, take a lot of rest. Soup, okay? Not just chicken soup, but soup, okay? Pag sinabi namang hot toddies, parang mga, ano to, mga, tawag dyan, mga pagkain din to na medyo maiinit-init, okay? And then vitamins. So you can also take some vitamins. So ito ay, since viral infection, there is really no cure for viral infection unless you're dealing with antiviral agents. So there is no cure, and therefore we just try to address the symptoms. So symptomatic people are treated. So yeah, so kaya tayo nag-address. So to also to help prevent the problem with the with the immune system. Okay, so we want the immune system to be still very responsive. Okay, usually when there is a viral infection, so there is a higher chance of getting a secondary bacterial infection. Okay, so nagkakaroon ng secondary bacterial infection because okay, the immune system is compromised. Nako-compromise sila because of the viral infection. So for the drugs, we can use antihistamines. We can utilize antihistamines because there is allergy. So we can use decongestants. So one of the symptoms that you might encounter if you have cold is difficulty of breathing. Okay, so we usually check for what we call patency. Ano yung patency? Pag patent, when we say patent, butas, okay? Butas yung, ibig sabihin, pag if you try to feel if there is a air coming from the nasal passageway, okay? Takpan mo yung isang butas ng ilong mo and try to breathe, to exhale. Okay, pag may lumalabas na hangin, ibig sabihin patent, okay? So, yun ang ibig sabihin natin ng patency. So, you can try to stop. Okay, so, ibig sabihin kung merong block o kung merong occlusion, so, halimbawa, nabuo na mga secretions dyan. So, that is congestion. Okay, so there is congestion. So, what you can use are decongestants like sympathomimetic amines, antitussives. We encountered this already. So, antitussives are drugs that are used to prevent coughing. Okay, so another manifestation, another symptom of upper respiratory tract infection is coughing. Okay, so when there is cough, okay, so you can prevent that from happening. And okay, the reason for this cough is some sort of reflex. It's a reflex action on the part of the body when there is something irritating the respiratory tract. So the body will try to remove it. And one way to deal with it is by sneezing or by coughing. So those are reflex actions. Okay, and so we can remove. So we can remove the uh, uh, mga irritants. We can remove the irritants, like for example, the secretions, okay, so like mucus or phlegm, so we can intentionally remove them by expectoration. So pag sinabing expectorate, ito yung you try to expel out, expel yung mga secretions nga from the, maybe by spitting, you can spit the mucus, okay, or blow your nose, so by blowing the nose. But it's not usually it's not a good thing to blow your nose, especially if you're doing it one nasal opening at a time, because it might lead to uh, middle ear infection, and even inflammation of the mastoid bone, okay? So, pwede magkaroon ng inflammation ng mastoid bone. Yung mastoid bone, ito yung bone sa likod ng tenga mo, okay? So, pwedeng ma-inflame yan when you are blowing your nose, or when you are, can also lead to, again, infection of the, ang tawag dyan, itong ating middle ear. Paano nagkakaroon ng infection sa middle ear? Kasi connected. So there is a tube, ang tawag natin doon ay Eustachian tube. So there is a tube that connects, okay, the ears to, okay, the back of the sa respiratory part. It's connected to the respiratory passageway, to your nose, connected to your nasal cavity. Okay? So through the Eustachian tube. So pwedeng mag-migrate yung infectious agent dun sa ating middle ear, causing what we call otitis media, okay? Otitis media. So ibig sabihin, inflammation of the middle ear, otitis media. So nagkakaroon niya ng mga secretions, tawag natin ay luga, okay? So in local language, it's called luga. Okay? If there is anything, nire-record nyo ba, Naomi? Nag-start na ba kayo mag-record?
Yes po, Doc.
All right, so let's continue. And so antihistamines. Di pa naman natin napag-usapan ng antihistamine, but take note that antihistamines are also called H1 blockers. H1 blockers. So the H there stands for histamine. So these antihistamines, of course, they compete with histamine. And histamine is released from, try to recall what type of cell is the source of histamine. So these are the basophils in the tissue, in the blood, and the mga in the tissue we have mast cells, okay? Mast cells, so they are the sources of histamines. Again, mast cells, MAST, and the other one are the basophils, so they are the sources of histamine. So usually they are increased, dumadami sila in case of allergic reaction. Okay? So there are two types of receptors for histamine, H1 and H2. H1 stimulation leads to so the constriction of the extravascular smooth muscles. So ibig sabihin extravascular, so this is outside the blood vessel, So there are smooth muscles outside the blood vessels, including the blood vessels of the nasal cavity. So nagkakaroon daw ng constriction. Okay? And for H2 stimulation, so there will be an increase in gastric secretions if they are stimulated, that may trigger peptic ulcer disease. Okay? And so these are the two types of receptors for histamine. So what are the effects? So yung activation of the muscles, of the smooth muscles or the glands. Okay? So pwede silang ma-stimulate. So dito medyo malabo itong part na to, pero it says do not confuse the two receptors. Okay? And actually, antihistamines decrease the secretions, okay, produced by the nasopharynx by blocking the receptor for H1, okay? So, pine-prevent natin yan. So, activation, we prevent the activation of these smooth muscles Okay? And also, mga glands, kaya may mga glands kasi yan. Remember, glands are also lined with smooth muscles. So, para lumabas yung product ng mga glands natin, kailangan silang mag-constrict, okay? So, and the muscles, the type of muscles that we find in glands are also smooth muscles. Yan. So, we try to block the secretions. Kaya, nababawasan yung secretions. Kaya, delikado ba ang secretions? Well, yung konting amount, a small amount of that is parang it can lead to, pwedeng ma-block o mahirap ka, magkakaroon ka ng difficulty of breathing, okay? Difficulty of breathing. So that is why we try to remove those secretions. Mechanically, di ba, merong gumagamit tayo, kung bata yan, ina-aspirate natin, yung mismong aspirator valve, ina-aspirate natin yung mga secretions from the nose. And kung nakita nyo siguro parang may mga parang nagba-viral na mga videos. Ewan ko nakita nyo na to, yung meron para silang container na pinupush nila, may laman yun na liquid. Pinupush nila yung liquid doon sa loob ng nose nila and then you will find ang dami-daming mga secretions from sa nasal cavity. Yan. So, yan. So, may mga gano'n. Okay? And so, by the way, I want you to type in your name for the attendance. Okay, please. And so, what is histamine? So, histamine is actually a compound derived from histidine. Okay, histidine yan. Okay? So, this is produced by the cells, as we have mentioned. What are those cells? Mast cells and the basophils. So they are released, okay, when there is in the presence of allergens, okay? So allergens. So what happens when they reach the H1 receptors, it leads to dilation of the capillaries and arterioles. There is an increase in the blood flow in the area. Kaya nga, ito sa amin na classic characteristic of inflammatory process. One of the cardinal signs of inflammation is redness, okay? Because of an increase in the blood flow. And there is also heat, okay? So also it affects the permeability of the capillaries, kaya nagiging madaling mag-flow yung dugo doon, okay? So the bad thing about this is that it can lead to edema. Pwede magkaroon ng edema when there is movement of this fluid in the spaces outside the blood vessels, okay? So extracellular spaces. That can lead to congestion. So pwede magkaroon ng blockage, okay? And production of a lot of secretions, okay? Ang manifestations naman yan kapag nagpo-produce tayo ng secretions, of course, yung phlegm production, so yung mucus production leading to runny nose, so parang tumutulo yung sipon, and also watery eyes. So if there is too much histamine during an allergic reaction, so nagkakaroon ng decrease ng BP. So ito yung mga negative effects of yan. So anaphylaxis na to, okay? So pwedeng magkaroon ng skin flushing, namumula syempre, decreased BP and edema, okay? And edema. But this is the problem. Edema is actually the problem, especially if it leads to pulmonary edema. And so there will be itching, constriction, and spasm of the bronchioles. So leading to shortness of breath pag sinabing SOP, shortness of breath, and production of a lot of secretions coming from the lungs and the stomach. Okay? Kaya mapapansin nyo, isa sa mga possible maging problem, emergency situation is hindi na makahinga because of edema, because of production of too much secretions in the upper respiratory tract. And at the same time, kasi allergic reaction niya, nagko-constrict nagko-constrict yung ating respiratory passageway. So, hindi makalabas yung secretions. Natatrap yung secretions sa loob. So, kaya ang ginagawa ng mga doktor or mga trained emergency medical technicians is nagpe-perform sila ng tracheotomy. Okay? So, pag tomy, binubutas, ano? So, binubutas sila yung trachea or trachea. Tracheotomy. So, emergency, so that means gagamit sila ng, mga sharp objects. Maybe, ideally, syempre, yung scalpel, bubutasan nila yung area na yan, okay? So, para makahinga, okay? So, to facilitate the removal of the secretions and at the same time, facilitate breathing. Kung napanood nyo, iba pala yung ginawa doon sa The Good Doctor. Eh, ang nangyari naman sa The Good Doctor, ewan ko kung nakita nyo, napanood ko lang naman mga short videos sa YouTube. So, ang nangyari naman ay parang may pumasok na hangin sa lungs, okay? Eh, paano yun? Siyempre, yung hangin normally, siyempre pumapasok yan through the respiratory passageway. Pero in this case, pag pumasok yung hangin, ibig sabihin nabutas yung chest area mo, so may papasok na hangin doon. Hindi maganda yan. That's not a good thing because magkakaroon ng magbi-build up ng pressure, pwedeng mag-lead sa collapse ng ating lungs. Anyway, so next one. So yan, so I hope maliwanag yung aking explanation here. Next, slide number 9. Ano ba mga examples ng antihistamines? Right, so ito. So ano ba kilala natin dito? As temizole, cetirizine, okay? Cetirizine, kilala natin si cetirizine. Loratadine, okay? Kilala natin si loratadine. Okay? Ano pa? Chlorpheniramine. Actually, maraming mga amines. Okay, mga amines yan. And maybe kilala natin si diphenhydramine. Okay? So, which is Benadryl. Cetirizine, loratadine, okay, available yan over the counter. Diphenhydramine, okay. So, karamihan sa mga antihistamine, meron din yung mga generations, okay? May mga generations din yan ng mga antihistamines. So yung mga naunang generations, the early generations of antihistamines, they have this parang drowsy, okay? They can cause drowsiness. So nakakaantok, okay? Nakakaantok. Kaya nga ito, diba, cetirizine, okay? Nakakaantok yan. Diphenhydramine, Benadryl, nakakaantok yan, okay? And so, kaya itong mga antihistamines, they can also be used for insomnia, okay? Ginagamit din siya for insomnia. Pero itong loratadine, yan. So, parang later generation na yan ng mga antihistamine, din na siya nagkokos ng drowsiness, Claritin. So, Claritin or loratadine. So, what do they do? Ano ba ginagawa nitong mga antihistamines? Let me here. So, they act as anticholinergics. So, meron siyang anticholinergic property. And they compete at the histamine receptors, acting as an antagonist. Okay? Kaya nga anti-histamine. So there are receptors. So remember, if the histamine doesn't reach the receptor, there will be no effect, no effect of histamine. So uses, okay, includes syempre colds, rhinitis, allergy, different types of allergy, okay, and anti-emetic. So, pwede din siya as anti-emetic. And as I mentioned earlier, side effects, it leads to drowsiness, nakaantok, dizziness, sedation. So, ganun din. Halos pareho lang yung drowsiness. So, siguro we can say parang yung drowsy, parang gising ka. Gising ka pero parang antok na antok ka. Okay? Parang hindi mo control, okay, yung sleepiness mo. Okay, and there may be drying effects because of the anticholinergic properties. So, parang nagda-dry yung mouth, etc. So, it is contraindicated in glaucoma and in acute asthma. Okay, so iba ang treatment for asthma. Okay, iba ang treatment for asthma. although this asthma is also considered as a form of allergy. Okay, now decongestants. Okay, so na-explain na natin what we mean by congestion. So when there is build up, okay, when there is build up of, liquids, okay, or secretions in the respiratory passageway. So since this is the upper respiratory tract, so we're dealing with the nasal cavity. So pwedeng magkaroon niya ng congestion, okay? So ang tawag natin doon sa liquid na naiipon doon, it can be a transudate or an exudate, okay? So transudate or exudate. You will encounter this again in clinical microscopy or analysis of body fluids, okay? Pag sinabing transudate, mababa yung protein level niyan, okay? Pag sinabi naman nating exudate, so mataas ang protein level niya. So ibig sabihin, yung mga makukulay, so ang transudates usually mga colorless lang yan. Colorless secretions. Pero kapag may kulay na, medyo darker na yung color niya, like mga yellowish, greenish, so ang tawag na natin doon ay exudate, okay? So yan ang pagkakaiba. So exudates are usually a result of infection, and transudates usually wala pang infection, okay? Yeah. So I hope it's clear, no? Transudates and exudates. So what are decongestants? So they are sympathomimetic amines. So it activates the sympathetic nervous system. It mimics the sympathetic nervous system. So again, kapag sympathetic, typically it is aggressive, okay? But in the case of the lungs, siya ay the opposite, okay? So they stimulate the alpha adrenergic receptors that leads to vasoconstriction of the capillaries in the mucosa. Okay, kapag nag-constrict yung mga capillaries, hindi na magpo-produce, wala nang liquid na masyadong lalabas, okay? Mag-shrink na yung mga mucous membranes. Okay, there will be less liquids being produced by the nasal, yung mga glands, okay? Yung mga mucous glands dyan, okay? Right, so what are examples of these decongestants? Okay, so I do not know if you have heard of any of these. So napsozine, napsozine, okay? Pseudoephedrine, ito pala iniinom ko. Okay, pseudoephedrine, oxymetazoline, okay, and phenylpropanolamine. I remember I mentioned of phenylpropanolamine. It's still here, maybe tinanggal na yung ban. It was banned in the past because of yun nga yung mga bleeding, cases of bleeding. And so anyway, phenylpropanolamine, ito yung sa active component of Sinutab. Okay, Sinutab. And Dimetap, so for cough, so Dimetap. Siguro na-encounter niya na yung mga yan. So it's used for congestion because of common colds, hay fever, allergy and hay fever, and upper respiratory tract allergies, and sinusitis. Kaya nga sabi ko, so phenylpropanolamine for sinusitis, Sinutab. Side effects, hyperness, so too much energy, increased blood pressure, increased blood sugar. It's contraindicated in so if you already have high blood pressure, lalong tataas ang blood pressure mo, so you cannot take this type of drug. Cardiac disease and diabetes. That is why prior to getting these types of medications, dapat natitake talaga natin ang patient's history, okay, so that the choice of drug will be properly selected. So this is available, itong mga decongestants na yan, they are available as nasal sprays, tablets, capsules, or liquids. So the most common is the nasal spray. So any spray sa ilong, okay? So ang problema, it can result in tolerance and rebound nasal congestion. Okay, ibig sabihin, sa simula lang yung effect niya, but later on, pwedeng bumalik yung congestion because they may actually irritate the nasal mucosa. Right, so glucocorticoids. So remember that steroids are also used to address the problem of inflammation. Okay, so therefore, we also use glucocorticoids, okay, for the treatment of allergy or inflammation. Okay, okay, so these are examples: beclomethasone, Bansinase. Okay, ito yung mga Bansinase, Beconase, Banseril. Ito yung mga kanya mga brands. Budesonide, so common ito, budesonide, and dexamethasone, fluticasone, betamethasone. Yan. So, yan, mga steroid preparations. So, yan ay mga nasal drops. Usually, mga nasal drops. Okay? So, they can decrease the inflammatory process in the nose, used for allergy. Okay, so yung mga manifestations of allergy like sneezing, runny nose, so you can use this. Side effects are not common, but remember for steroids, there is a limit in the utilization of steroids. So you can use this for up to 2 weeks. But within the week naman, so you will see that there is already an improvement in the conditions. Okay? Kasi nga, steroids can mask. They can mask or they can parang remove the symptoms, okay, of diseases. So next, antitussives. One of the drugs that can be used for this groups of infections, okay, is that which prevents coughing, no? So ano ba yan? So the cough center or the cough center in our body is found in the brain, okay? Particularly in the medulla oblongata, okay? And so it's a form of reflex. Coughing is a form of reflex. And by taking this type of drugs, you can suppress coughing. Okay? So, ano ba mga examples niyan? So, we have codeine. So, if you remember, codeine is a narcotic analgesic. So, this is a controlled medication. So, meaning, it requires special form of prescription. Okay, S2. I think it's S2. S2 prescription. Okay? Kasi nga, this is addicting. This is addicting. And then, if you recall, sabi natin, one of the controlled drugs, is usually codeine preparations, okay? So, mga in-incorporate siya, sinasama siya sa mga cough syrup. Then, we have dextromethorphan. Siguro kilala niyo itong si dextromethorphan. Robitussin, okay? I think, meron mga iba-iba kasi yung formulation ng Robitussin. So, one of the formulation is, so dextromethorphan. So, meron ding guaifenesin, okay? So, non-narcotic, this is non-narcotic antitussive. It also suppresses the control center in the brain, the medulla oblongata. So, it is available as syrup. Siguro nakilala niyo na yung syrup, mga cough syrup, as liquids, chewables, and lozenges. However, it can cause drowsiness and sedation. Okay? Nakaantok. Next, expectorants. So, pampalabas naman ng mga secretions. You want to remove. Why? So, mechanically, you want to loosen, you want to remove those secretions. Okay? Yung mga mucus that we produce in our respiratory tract. So, by using expectorants. Okay? So, yung mga, sa ubo kasi, when you are coughing, it depends on the type of cough that you have. Meron tayong dry cough, meron tayong productive cough. Ibig sabihin, merong secretion. So, pag dry cough, walang secretions. Okay? So, hindi ibig sabihin na dry cough, wala kang secretion. Actually, may secretion. It's just that those secretions are very sticky. Very sticky. So, kaya, nandun siya, nakadikit siya sa ating respiratory passageway. So, dapat tunawin muna natin siya, no? Tutunawin muna natin yung mga secretions na yan. And we can use mucolytics. Gagamit tayo ng mucolytics muna. Okay? Siguro na-encounter nyo na din yung mga mucolytics, yung mga acetylcysteine. Yan, yung ano ba yun? So, mamaya makikita natin. So, mga may cysteine, okay? And after na natunaw, we can now proceed to expectoration. So, ibig sabihin, pwede mo na itapon, pwede mo nang idahak, okay? Yung mga secretions na yan. So, expectorate. You can now expectorate. Yan. So we can loosen this. Yan. So, by using those combination, okay, of drugs. Okay, so like guaifenesin, robitussin, so pwede to. Okay, so pag medyo dry na yung cup mo, okay, so ang isa sa pwedeng isa-suggest sa inyo is hydration. Uminom ka na maraming tubig para matunaw yung mga nakadikit na mga secretions. Okay, kasi bumabara yung mga secretions na yun, okay? Kaya umuubo ng dry. So let's go to acute and chronic lower respiratory tract disorders. Okay. So ano ba ang pwede mangyari doon sa pinaka-ilalim ng lung, sa pinaka-lower part ng lungs natin, okay? So pwede daw magkaroon ng problem with the elasticity. Okay? Pwede mag-problem sa elasticity, nagiging unable to contract yung mga muscles natin. Okay? So ano pa? So di ba sabi ko kapag ang baby isinilang, kapag isinilang ang baby premature, hindi pa siya nagpo-produce ng surfactant ng phospholipid, okay? Ng lecithin, phosphatidylcholine. Pag hindi pa siya nagpo-produce niyan, pwedeng mag-apektuhan yung elasticity ng lungs, okay? At the same time, maapektuhan din yung tawag yan, pwede mag-collapse yung lungs, okay? Ang tawag sa condition na yun ay respiratory distress syndrome, acute respiratory distress syndrome, and this is more commonly seen again in premature children, okay? In babies, okay? Yeah, so this is the surfactant. It lowers the surface tension in the alveoli. It's very important. So it is increased in case of COPD, mataas kapag COPD, and decrease in case of restrictive pulmonary diseases, okay, leading to stiffness of the lungs. So pag COPD, so this is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Maraming klase ng COPD. And so ito yung common, COPD and restrictive pulmonary disease affecting the lower part of the respiratory tract. So pagka tinawag na chronic, so ibig matagal na obstruction, okay? Nahirapang huminga, okay? And so ito yung mga usual causes of this condition. Chronic bronchitis, namamaga, emphysema, okay? So lumolobo yung dulo ng mga alveoli, bronchiectasis. Dito naman ang namamaga naman dito yung mga respiratory passageway, parang permanently naka-dilate sila, okay? Then asthma, ang asthma naman opposite, nag-constrict naman yung mga respiratory passageway. Anyway, in these conditions, magkakaroon ng obstruction, nahirapang pumasok yung hangin, okay? And it can lead to an irreversible lung damage. Okay, pwedeng ma-damage yung ating lungs. Okay, and then we have restrictive lung disease. So, ibig sabihin naman daw niyan, there is a decrease in the capacity of the lungs. Tandaan natin sa physiology, meron tayong respiratory capacity test. Yung you can blow, merong instrument that you have to blow on that instrument and you will know yung mga tinatawag natin na mga volumes, mga lung volumes, inspiratory volume, reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, etc. So yung mga yan, okay? So nagkakaroon daw ng problem doon sa capacity ng lungs, okay? So bakit? So it's because of the following. Pulmonary edema. So nabanggit natin yung pulmonary edema in our last topic. Sabi natin, one of the reasons of for this pulmonary edema is when there is decrease in the blood flow as a result of heart failure. So basta yun, sa nagkaroon ng problem sa movement ng blood sa papunta sa lungs, pwedeng maipon yung tubig sa lungs, okay? Then pulmonary fibrosis. Okay, ibig sabihin yan, ang fibrosis kasi this is a way for the body to repair damaged tissues, okay? So pag fibrosis, ito yung yung repair, okay? The repairing process. Nagpo-produce tayo ng mga fibers, tissue fibers. Pero syempre, dahil ang lungs is a very soft tissue, kapag nagkaroon ng fibrosis doon sa lungs mismo natin, may maapektuhan yung kanyang elasticity. Kaya fibrosis is not a good thing for the lungs. Pneumonitis, kung natatandaan nyo, so this is inflammation, okay? So, what particular parasite can cause pneumonitis? So, kasi meron siyang tinatawag na heart and lung migration. So, try to recall what parasite can cause pneumonitis. Anyone? Kung natatandaan nyo lang naman. So, if you can recall yung ating parasitology. Pwede kayo mag-type ng sagot nyo kung gusto nyo, gusto nyo ayan, so, sino ba to? Si Lily. Lily, ano yun?
Strongyloides po.
Strongy ba? Pneumonitis? Strongy. Ilan lang naman yung nag-migrate sa heart and lungs, no? Strongy ba? May iba pang sagot? Any other answer? Pneumonitis. Anyway, ano pa bang nagkakaroon ng mga heart-lung migration? Ano pang parasite ang may heart-lung migration?
Paragonimus po.
Paragonimus? Ang Paragonimus
Ascaris.
sa katira. Ascaris. Okay, may Ascaris. Kasi siya ay mga soil-transmitted helminths, okay? Mga soil-transmitted helminths kasi, kailangan siyang mag-undergo ng ganong process. Okay? Part of the life cycle. Okay, so lung tumors and scoliosis. So these are the conditions that can lead to restrictive lung diseases. Okay? And bronchial asthma. Okay? So pag asthma, so this is another form of COPD. Okay, ano ang characteristic sound, lung sounds kapag may asthma? So meron tayong tinatawag na wheezing, okay? So parang merong hangin, okay? Parang hangin na ini-squeeze yung hangin. Parang sumisipol, ano? Kapag humihinga ka, parang may sound na sumisipol. Parang may ano ba yun? Ano ba yung sipol? Yung parang whistling, okay? May whistling sound. Okay, wheezing. Okay, tawag natin doon wheezes. So, tingnan nyo, pakinggan nyo yung, if you can try to find a video of the differences between, wheezes, bronchi, rales, okay? Iba-iba yung kasi yung sound na, no? Mga characteristic lung sounds, breathing sounds, okay? There is also DOP, or difficulty of breathing. Next. So, in asthma, there is bronchospasm, meaning nagko-constrict yung ating mga muscles, okay, that lines the bronchi, leading to difficulty of breathing, okay? So, nahihirapan, okay? Nahihirapan pumasok at lumabas yung hangin. So, and this is because of certain factors. Okay, ano ba mga factors that can trigger an asthma? Okay, so siguro some of you may have asthma. Okay, there are certain factors that lead to you experiencing the symptom of asthma. Humidity, okay? Humidity. Pag masyadong dry or pag medyo ano ba? Ano ba opposite ng dry? So medyo humid, okay? Pag humid yung atmosphere, so when there is an air pressure changes, kapag there is a temperature changes, so nagtitrigger ng asthma. For example, nowadays, ang init-init. So, syempre, pwede kang atakihin ng asthma. So, the presence of irritants like smoke, fumes, okay, and stress, emotional upset, allergies, so medyo na-insert ito. So allergies, dust, okay, ito yung mga irritants, okay, mga different irritants. And some of you may have allergy to food and some drugs. So ito ang pwede mag-trigger ng asthma, okay? So pathophysiology, so again, mast cells which are found in our tissues, okay, will release what? They will release the histamine, okay? Nagre-release siya ng histamine. Okay? Okay, so in response to the allergens, okay? Okay, yung allergens by the way ay parang similar to antigens, okay? Pero hindi siya totoong antigen, okay? Kasi ang epekto niya, instead of antibody reaction, talagang nagpo-produce lang siya, na-activate lang yung mast cells, okay? Or yung basophils. So kapag na-activate ang mast cells, ano yung laman ng kanyang mga granules? Diba may mga granules? Sa magkamukha ang mast cells tsaka yung ating basophil. Napakahirap i-distinguish kung alin dyan ang basophil at mast cells. Siguro the only way is it depends on the location. Kapag ang location ay nasa blood, definitely that's basophil. Pero kapag ang isang yan, ano yan, mga granulated cells ay nasa tissue, so likely that is a mast cells. And basophils are the rarest, okay? They are the rarest among the WBC. Ang normal value niyan is 0 to 1, okay? Big sabihin, in your lifetime as a medical technologist, you may not actually see an actual basophil. Baka hindi kayo makakita sa buong buhay mo ng basophil kahit na nagpagtrabaho ka ng 30 years sa laboratory. Baka hindi ka makakita ng basophil. It's really very, very rare, okay? Anyway, so these basophils, these mast cells, they contain histamines, yung kanyang mga granules, cytokines, serotonin, and ECF-A. Marami pa, no? Meron pang SRS-A. So, ibig sabihin nito ay chemotactic, eosinophil chemotactic factor for eosinophil. So, for chemotaxis, kung natandaan niyo yung chemotaxis, ito yung movement ng mga cells, okay, going, particularly yung mga WBC. So, in this case, yung eosinophil. So, they are now attracted to a certain location in the body where there is inflammation. Okay? Na-attract sila. One of those is ECF-A. Yung SRS-A naman is slow-reacting substances of anaphylaxis. Yan. So, usually nasa ano din yan, mga granules din yan ng baso at ng mga mast cells. Okay? So, itong mga chemicals na yan, so what they do is that they stimulate constriction of the bronchi, mucus secretions, inflammation, and congestion in the lungs. Okay? So what is responsible for this ano yan? So bronchodilation naman, the opposite, is cyclic amine adenosine monophosphate. So CAMP. So this maintains the bronchodilation. Okay? Yan. Okay, so this gets inhibited during the process of asthma. Na-inhibit siya. Okay, so kapag naman nagbibigay ka ng mga bronchodilators, tumataas naman yung CAMP. Okay, bumababa ang CAMP kapag may asthma. Okay, kapag naman nagbigay ka ng mga bronchodilators, tumataas naman yung CAMP. Okay, sympathomimetics again. So these are drugs that mimic the sympathetic nervous system. So, parang prelim lang ito, no? Okay? So, they are agonists to your alpha and beta receptors. So, what they do is that they increase the CAMP, cyclic amino monophosphate. Adenosine monophosphate. So, leading to, pag tumaas, nagdadilate ang bronchioles. Okay? And so example of these would be your epinephrine. Okay, epinephrine. So, as a drug. So given subcutaneous in case of emergency to promote bronchodilation, because this can be a life-threatening condition. Tandaan natin, meron tayong tatlong bagay na ina-assess priority sa field ng medicine, airway is number 1. Breathing is number 2. Circulation is number 3. ABC. ABC. Kapag kayo ay nag-undergo ng BLS, Basic Life Support, sa CPR, kapag nag-training kayo niyan, ipaparealize sa inyo na yun nga, meron tayong priorities. The first thing that you have to assess or check is if the patient can breathe. Nakakahinga ba? Okay? Meron bang hindi ba na-block yung airway? Wala bang bumabara doon sa airway? Kaya kailangan ipo-position mo properly yung head para makahinga. Breathing, nakakahinga ba? So patency, di ba? Sinabi ko sa inyo patency and circulation. Paano mo naman assess ang circulation? Namumutla ba yung pasyente? Okay? Bakit kapag namumutla? Ibig sabihin baka hindi nagsisirculate yung blood properly. Okay? So, yun. So, anyway, so if you give epinephrine, ano pwedeng mangyari? Side effects? So, there may be tremors, dizziness, hypertension, tachycardia, heart palpitation, and angina. So, okay lang yan. Kahit na mayroong ganyan mga side effects, although hindi siya maganda, but still, ang ating priority, remember, is makahinga yung pasyente. Di ba, hindi siya makahinga? So, pahingahin na. Pilitin na siya makahinga. Okay? Then, for bronchospasm, because of COPD, you can give beta-2 adrenergic agonist. Okay, this is usually given by aerosol or tablet. So pag aerosol, ito yung mist. Ito yung mist. Ito yung, ano ba aerosol natin? Yung, I forgot how they call it in the Philippines. Yung, basta may parang mga, anyway, misting. Okay, it's called misting. So, meron tayong device that, that allows you to mix the tablet, okay, the medicine, okay, with water or with NSS, and then it will become a mist, okay, or parang, ano ba yung mist? Parang hindi mausok, no? Parang ano lang, hindi siya usok. So, tulungan niyo ako, ano word na yun? What is that word? Halimbawa, yung Vicks, pag inalo mo sa tubig, may fumes, okay, fumes. It's more like fumes. Okay, so a nebulizer, okay, nebulizer or inhaler. Nebulizer, okay? Yan, so inihalo natin itong mga gamot na to, metoprolol, okay, in the nebulizer or in the inhaler, okay, or it can be given as a mist niya, okay? So yun yung, bakit kaya ganun ang mode of administration? Okay, so syempre, because our target is the lungs, okay? So the best way to reach the lungs is by inhalation, okay? So this is better given by inhalation rather than per orem, okay? So there will be less side effects, okay, compared to when you are taking it orally. Pwede din naman pala ang oral, okay? So its action is to relax the muscles of the bronchial tubes very fast. Side effects lead to nervousness, tremors, restlessness, and even insomnia. Okay, another one, this is common, okay, albuterol. Okay, so this is given per orem or by inhaler. Okay, this is faster and longer duration than the previous one, metoprolol. Okay, also okay, but okay, so side effects are lesser. Okay, compared to the metoprolol. Ipratropium bromide, okay? So another one. So this is an antagonist of cholinergic receptors in the bronchial smooth muscles, available as an inhaler that leads to dilation of the bronchial tube. Okay? So kapag nag-dilate kasi yung bronchial tubes, lumuluwag, no? Nakakahinga na tayo. Yun yung goal. That is the goal of these drugs. So you can also combine this with beta agonists, okay, for asthma and for COPD. Okay, what we need to remember, we have to teach the patients on how to use properly these inhalers. Na parang merong short video kay Dr. House. Nagrereklamo yung pasyente. Sabi ng pasyente, bakit hindi umepekto tong gamot na to? Okay? Sabi niya, are you using it properly? You know how to use it? Sabi ng pasyente, do I look like an idiot? Okay? Yeah, will you demonstrate how you use it? So, anong ginawa niya? So, kasi yan, pinipindot mo yung inhaler, no? Kaya lang, in her case, instead of placing it in her mouth, in-spray niya parang ang ginawa niya parang pabango. Okay? In-spray niya sa magkabilang side ng kanyang leeg. So, of course, that is not the proper way to administer the drug. Okay? Now, here, if you're using steroids, okay? If you're using steroids with this, Atrovent daw. Okay? So we have to use Atrovent 5 minutes before the steroid or Promolin. Okay, uunahin muna lang natin. Okay. Okay, next, aminophylline, theophylline. Ito ay immunomonitor natin sa therapeutic drug monitoring, okay? Especially theophylline, okay? For asthma din to. So, ang classification niya ay methylxanthine derivative. So, for asthma and for COPD, so ang ginagawa niya ay tumataas ng CMP. So, again, pag mataas ang CMP, nagdadilate. Okay? Another effect would be diuresis, stimulation of the cardiac, the CNS, mga muscles, no? The muscles natin, and gastric acid stimulation. So side effects includes nausea and vomiting, nervousness, dizziness, palpitations, upset. Okay, so try to remember that. So if you give this IV, it has a low therapeutic index, so therefore it should be monitored. So I am emphasizing that it should be monitored by a TDM. Okay, so pang medtech kasi yan. Okay, kaya kailangan alam natin. So given also per orem, okay. So, since this is for asthma, syempre, bawal tayong mag-smoke, okay? Bawal mag-smoke and avoid caffeine because it might, alam niyo naman epekto ng caffeine. So, meron siyang effect that is similar to stimulation of the adrenal gland, okay, etc. Okay? And increased fluid intake. Okay? Okay, next is what we call leukotriene or LT receptor antagonist. Kapag isang gamot, halimbawa to, Zafirlucas, ayun yun. So, leukotriene. Montelukast, yun. So, ibig sabihin siya ay leukotriene receptor antagonist and synthesis inhibitors, okay? So, ito naman syempre, ibang pangalan niya, Cyflo or Xylotone. So, it's a chemical. Itong leukotriene is a chemical mediator for inflammation, especially in the lungs, okay? Especially in the lungs. So, yung mga inhibitors na binibigay natin, they can reduce the inflammatory symptoms of asthma, okay? However, hindi din siya pwede sa acute asthma, okay? So, magkaiba kasi yung acute asthma sa bronchial asthma, okay? Magkaiba yun, okay? So, action. So, decrease on the inflammation. So, it can also be used for prophylaxis and maintenance drug therapy for asthma in general, okay? In general. So, next is glucocorticoids or steroids. Nabanggit na natin earlier ang glucocorticoids. Sabi natin, steroids, they have anti-inflammatory action. Oh, sorry, nadidig may aso ko. Maingay. Right, so they have anti-inflammatory properties. So this can be used for asthma. Okay. Okay, so especially if the asthma is unresponsive. Okay. Ayan. So, pag nakita nyo again yung mga word na status, ibig sabihin yung mga unresponsive conditions. Halimbawa, status epilepticus or status asthmaticus, ibig sabihin niya yung mga yan yung mga conditions na hindi nagre-respond dun sa therapy. Okay? Okay. So ito, madali namang ma-distinguish kapag steroids, no? Ito pa sa pangalan, beclomethasone, dexamethasone, hydrocortisone, prednisone. So especially prednisone, pang-asthma yan, okay? So they are usually given by as inhaler or tablet or as injection. Okay? Side effects with long-term use, as we have emphasized, so the use of steroids should be within a limit. It should be limited up to 2 weeks lang. Kasi more than that, there may be ito. So fluid retention, hyperglycemia, and impaired immune tolerance. So pwede nga makadevelop ng Cushing's syndrome. Okay? Pwede makadevelop ng Cushing's syndrome. Ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon na ng too much, okay? Ayan, fluid retention, nagbabago na yung distribution of body fats, etc. These steroids can be irritating to the gastric mucosa, though, so we have to take it with food if you are taking it per orem, okay, as tablet. Okay? Ano to? So, when you are discontinuing, yan, magamit na tayo ng mga, anyway, sa pang ano to mga medical, ano to, acronym. Discontinue. If you are going to discontinue, hindi daw pwedeng abrupt na tatanggalin mo lang basta yung, especially if you have been using steroids for some time, nakakaisang linggo ka na gumagamit ng steroids, hindi mo basta-basta ititigil. Okay? You have to taper the dose slowly. Kung nag-start ka sa 40 milligrams, gagawin mong 20, then gagawin mong 10. Okay? Until you stop. Okay? So, yan, stop ka na mag-take ng steroid. Okay? So, that is to prevent some form of withdrawal. Okay? Okay? So, next is cromolyn. So, nabanggit natin yung cromolyn daw, hindi daw natin pwedeng isabay dun sa ibang gamot, no? Okay, so this is for the treatment of bronchial asthma. Okay, it should not be taken on a daily basis, okay? And it's not used for acute asthma, okay? Because it's like using inhalers, okay? So action, it inhibits the release of histamine that can cause the asthmatic reaction. So side effects, mouth irritation, cough, and bad taste in the mouth. So there may be rebound bronchospasm if you discontinue the drug abruptly. Ito yung parang withdrawal, okay? Next is the nedochromyl sodium, similar to Intal or Cromolyn. Okay, so this is given via inhalation. Okay, and this is actually more effective than Intal. Then, acetylcysteine. So these are now the mucolytics. Nabanggit na natin earlier yung mucolytics. Ibig sabihin ng mucolytics, nilalyze niya yung mucus kapag mayroong dry cough. Okay? Okay? So para matanggal easily, so you can remove easily via expectoration yung mga secretions. Okay? Tanong, okay lang ba yung, halimbawa, may mga situations na hindi mo na expectorate. At pag expectorate mo, nalulun mo yung yung secretion. Okay lang ba 'yon? Well, kung yan ay may infectious agent, so pwedeng ma-spread yung infection, ano? Remember yung mucus, protective yan, pinoprotectionan niya yung kung ano yung laman niya, okay? Kapag ikaw naman expectorates, ini-spit mo sa labas, okay? Pwede ka ba makahawa nun? Pwede ka bang mag-lead sa parang, yun, so, spread of disease? Well, while it is still in the mucus, hindi pa nag-dry yung mucus, hindi pa. Okay? Kasi na-trap pa yung mga organism doon. But once those organisms, okay, once it dries up, so marirelease na yung mga organism leading to possibility of infection. Okay? Spread of infection. So acetylcysteine or May isa pang cystine eh. Okay, hindi ko matanda. Mucosolvan, basta yan, mucosolvan. Yan, hindi ko matandaan. Anyway, this is given by a nebulization. So, yun nga, as mist therapy. Action, it liquefies and loosens the thick mucus secretions so that they can be expectorated. Kaya nga, mucolytics. So, they dissolve this mucus, thick mucus secretions. Okay? Okay. So, acetaminophen overdose. Okay? So parang hindi dito talaga related kay pero naisama dyan. Okay, please disregard this part. Okay, nausea and vomiting, side effects, chest tightness, and bronchoconstriction. Okay, you can give this also with a bronchodilator. Then we have an enzyme called Dornase alpha. So that can also loosen, okay, pwede din siya mag-loosen ng sputum in patients with cystic fibrosis. If you recall, cystic fibrosis is a condition that is characterized by highly viscous secretions. Okay? So, yan. So, isa din yan. Meron ka ng asthma, meron ka pang cystic fibrosis, baka hindi ka na makahinga dyan. Okay? So, yan. So, please remember all of these drugs. Okay? They are important. Hindi naman masyado mahaba itong chapter na ito. So, I hope that kahit isama natin ito sa quiz natin next meeting, it will not actually be a problem. Right? So, kasama na to sa ating quiz. So, gawin lang natin 15 items, 5 from here and 10 from the previous chapter. Okay? So, next meeting. So, please make sure you type your name. Okay? Type your name sa ating chat box. Nasaan ba yung chat box natin? Kung nakikita. Kanina ko pa yung highlight. Trying to highlight. Anyway, so this is the last slide. So we stop here. Okay, you can access this in the web. Okay. So pwede na i-stop, Faith. Pwede na i-stop. Thank you. So type na lang ang ating attendance in the chat box. Yes, Ascaris ang tamang sagot kanina, ano? Ascaris. Yung pneumonitis. Okay, so before you leave, make sure you type in your name. Bakit parang maraming wala ngayon? Ano problem? Okay, so thank you for attending and have a good night. If you're still traveling, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you po, Doc.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
po, Doc.
po.
Okay.
Thank you po, Doc.